Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Tiffany, chiropractor and holistic health and life coach. Let's discuss the most recent headlines regarding autism. So as of today, according to the CDC, 1 in every 31 children have autism. So out of every 31 school-aged children have been diagnosed with autism. And that is pretty sad and it's extremely alarming. And so you may have your theories, right, in terms of why the rate is so high, where autism comes from, and there are people that are on both sides of the spectrum, both healthcare professionals and also just the common public. And yes, I do believe that it does have a component that is related to the vax. And you know that we can't say the entire word or else the video will be taken down. But with regard to the specific type of injections that they like to give our children and also adults as well. But I want you to even take a deeper look. Because if you think back to maybe, let's just say 20 years ago, right? Autism wasn't prominent. It wasn't a common diagnosis, and it wasn't something that was talked about on a consistent basis. There wasn't a healthcare field or a profession specifically tailored to working with people and children with autism. And if you look today, you know that there are a lot of autism related programs that receive grants, right? There are behavior analysts who specifically go to school to focus on working with children with autism, right? And they open their own clinics. There are clinics for children with autism as well as adults. And there seems to be a lot of focus towards treating autism, which they claim isn't curable. And so that should raise a red flag in your mind if you are someone who kind of looks at things from a skeptic's point of view, right? And you also have to question and ask yourself, well, where is all of this money coming from? Where is the research, right? Because we know that with any type of disease, there's always a plethora of research. And it's mighty funny that they are constantly doing research, but they're saying that it's not curable. So, do I personally believe that there is a deeper relationship? Yes. Do I believe that autism can be potentially caused by those injections? Yes. Do I believe that this is another way for the powers that be, meaning the government, big pharma, and all of the facilities and corporations and entities that make a lot of money based on the common public being sick? Do I believe that this is an agenda that is backed by them? Absolutely. And you may say, well, why? Because this is not something that was even discussed 20 or 30 years ago. Children also weren't receiving as many injections 20 or 30 years ago as they are today, right? And yes, you can say that you don't want that for your child, and you have every right to, right? And if you are a Christian and you believe in Jesus Christ, then of course your religion, speaks for itself. And we are not supposed to do harm to our body, right? Our body is a temple. So just your religious beliefs alone are enough for you to say, hey, I don't want this for my child. I don't want this for myself. The problem with that is you receive a lot of kickback, and it becomes more difficult for you to receive adequate care. It's definitely possible and it's out there, but if you aren't someone who knows the ins and outs, if you aren't someone who's connected, right? Let's just say, if you aren't someone who has a holistic healthcare practitioner that treats you or your family, then this does become difficult and it becomes arduous, it becomes frustrating. But I want you to know that it is something that you can overcome. Autism is also something that is curable, right? Because we serve a God who is the great physician, and by his stripes we are healed. So everything that they tell you isn't curable is a lie, right? And we know that they tell you these things to keep you in that repetitive cycle of going to the doctors, receiving treatment, taking these prescriptions, and continuing to pour money into these bigger entities. But it is extremely disturbing to know that out of every 31 children, one of them has an autism diagnosis. It also makes you wonder if the practitioners that are diagnosing are valid, because why is the number continuing to grow, right? You have to really, really, really take a deeper look into the bigger picture and take your power back. If you know someone, which you probably do, who has a child, or maybe you have a child who's been diagnosed with autism, speak with your alternative healthcare provider or your holistic healthcare provider to see what other treatment options are available. I will say that there's a whole different world with regard to treatment that's available that a lot of times most people don't know about, and we're going to talk about that in a different video. There are supplements that you can take or have your children take. Diet is extremely important, right? We know that all of these factors play a part. But most importantly, the biggest and overall point of this is that this is something, again, that was forced upon us, and we have the power to overcome. We just simply have to be willing to do the work and not buy into the system, which can be difficult for some, but it's definitely doable. So with regard to autism, don't allow it to make you afraid. Don't allow it to beat you down. This is not the end all be all. Remember that the media has a job to do, right? And although the statistics may be true, you have to ask yourself where this information is coming from, and you have to be willing to do what it takes to make sure that you and your family members are not included. Yes, autism is curable, despite what they say. Yes, there are things that you can do to make sure that your child or your family member doesn't receive that diagnosis when they come into the world. And we will talk about those things in more detail. But for now, don't allow the statistic to scare you. Don't allow the article and the information to scare you. Don't allow the entities and the corporations to scare you. We can overcome this just like we've had the opportunity and we have overcame everything else. So I just wanted to take some time to discuss that, and if nothing else, give you hope, let you know that this is not the end, right? Despite what the statistics say, we are healed and we can do all things through Christ. Until next time, heal holistically, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Bye.